Baby, what is sleep? What is sleep? I don't know. What is sleep?
What is going on, dudes? This is Vapor, and welcome back to another reaction. So we're going to be checking out Fuhnaff's brand new theory video. I'm assuming that's what it is. It's what he's been going nuts about recently, and he's been absolutely slapping the game. Not literally, no games were harmed in the making of this video, okay? No slapping of games, relax. So it looks like this one is going to delve into some more FNAF Security Breach Ruin DLC, along with the story of GGY from the newest Tales from the Pizzaplex FNAF book. I don't know what it's going to entail, but it looks pretty interesting. I liked the title. I liked the thumbnail. I like FNAF. John's cool, I guess. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I hate it. So everything will be linked in the description down below so you can check everything out for yourself, obviously, along with Fuhnaff's channel. Please go subscribe if you enjoy this theory. Let's get into it. This one is titled The Lost FNAF Game That Solves Security Breach. Better. I'm hungry. Someone could play on this bad boy. In 3, 2, 1.
In November of 2017, Scott Cawthon put out a long Steam post detailing all upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's projects. One of the most interesting ones that fans have been curious about for years now is FNAF Into Madness. This was going to be a brand new FNAF game made by Scott, and it already had a title. Based on the game already having a title, it seems like Scott already had a story for the game fleshed out, but the game never came out. Or did it? What if I told you that the games we are currently playing, FNAF VR, AR, and Security Breach, are FNAF Into Madness? And Into Madness single-handedly connects to Patient 46, these new FNAF characters, and what's gonna happen in the upcoming Ruin DLC? Well, buckle in, because I'm convinced that this theory is correct and will blow your mind. In Scott's Steam post, he mentioned that FNAF Into Madness would be a compilation of several previous gameplay ideas in the same vein as Update 2 of FNAF World. And to summarize from the finale of my I Solved Security Breach series, the gameplay ideas we see in FNAF World Update 2 are quite literally a character breaking the fourth wall and using mini-games to enter the real world by driving the player into madness. This is literally the plot of FNAF VR and what happens to Vanessa. Glitchtrap takes over Vanessa's consciousness and inserts himself into the real world by controlling her. But in the finale video, that's where I left it. The Into Madness era of FNAF has already come and gone with Vanessa, is what I thought before I did a little more digging and reading. One of the stories that I've been really curious to read is GGY from the 5th Tales from the Pizzaplex book. This immediately stuck out to me because GGY has the highest score on a lot of the arcade machines in Security Breach. When this story was announced, I got nervous.
Just pro gamer.
Maybe we overlooked something. I never thought that Gregory having the highest score on all of their arcade machines was a big deal, because we also see Freddy and Roxy and Vanny on these machines. Obviously, it was just meant to be an Easter egg. Right? Well, now that the story is out and I've had a chance to read it, I am in mental anguish. Here's a quick rundown of GGY. If you don't want spoilers, there's your warning. GGY centers around Tony. Tony is a kid who dreams of being an investigative reporter. After getting assigned some writing homework at school, he decides to write about the mystery of GGY, and why GGY has all of the highest scores on the arcade machines at the Pizzaplex. Tony spent a bunch of time at the Pizzaplex, asking other kids if they knew who GGY was, but despite his efforts, he got nowhere. Tony then decided to look at the customer database to see if he could find more info about GGY. When he pulled up his records, he found that GGY turned his play pass into a security badge, giving him access to every area of the Pizzaplex. The book states that GGY is a very proficient hacker, just like Patient 46. Tony also found that Gregory was using the hacked play pass to let 3 other people into the Pizzaplex. These people were later revealed to be the school counselors who were declared missing by police, which mimics what we see in the retro CDs, with the therapist going missing one by one. The therapist in the retro CDs mentions that they don't just work for Fazbear Entertainment.
I even work in schools.
They also work in schools, which is exactly what we see in GGY. So if you haven't pieced it together yet, the story is heavily insinuating that Gregory is Patient 46. And the reason he has the highest score on all of the arcade machines is because he's a very proficient hacker, just like we learn in the retro CDs. One of the characters from GGY, Alex, even appears in Security Breach. In the book, his initials are ABC on the arcade machines, and ABC is seen on multiple scoreboards. But with Gregory being Patient 46, we now have some big problems. In the retro CDs, we learn that Patient 46, aka Gregory, was seen talking with Vanessa before the events of Security Breach. So why now in-game does he pretend that he doesn't know who Vanessa is?
don't know who she is, but she's trying to get me.
And in general, why does Gregory pretend like he has no idea what's going on throughout the entirety of Security Breach? Well, if Gregory is patient 46, we learn in the retro CDs that Gregory was caught talking to himself and talking to his computer.
Lots of time talking to yourself. I saw in your file that you have developed software programs that talk to you in repeat phrases. The program asks you questions and prompts you for responses.
Which is the same thing Vanessa is doing in the FNAF AR emails. That must mean that Gregory is also possessed by Glitchtrap. After you take this into account, all the dominoes kind of fall in the right places. I think it's fairly obvious that if Vanny and Vanessa are the same person, the Vanessa side of her isn't aware / doesn't remember what Vanny does. This lines up with the FNAF AR emails when we see her battle for control of her own mind. And we literally see her memory loss in-game. Vanessa seemingly does the right thing by putting Gregory in Lost and Found and trying to contact his parents. Then Vanny shows up with a completely different plan. Gregory escapes Vanny, but later on, Vanessa is seen still trying to figure out how to contact Gregory's parents. If Vanessa was faking doing the right thing in front of Gregory, why would she keep up the lie even in private when Gregory isn't there? This is the biggest piece of evidence that Vanessa is not aware of her Vanny side and doesn't remember anything that she does while she's Vanny. And if this is the case for Vanessa, it must be the case for Gregory too. Vanessa and Gregory don't know who each other are because they were seen talking to each other when they were in the possession of Glitchtrap. We know this because the therapist says that Gregory was talking to Vanny, referencing the rabbit costume.
What are those things? They almost look like rabbit ears.
But even with all of these pieces starting to fit together, we still have one gigantic question. How did Gregory fall under the control of Glitchtrap?
That's what I'm trying to figure that out. I was about that talking about that.
Answer to this. Like I explained earlier, FNAF Into Madness is based on FNAF World Update 2, where we see a character enter the real world by driving the player of a minigame into madness. We see this happen in FNAF VR with Vanessa, but this happened to Vanessa because she was beta testing the FNAF VR game. Gregory's just a kid. He couldn't have also been beta testing this VR game. Well, let's look at what we know about Gregory. Well, we know that he loves playing the arcade machines. His initials are all over them. And which arcade cabinet that we can play in-game is noticeably possessed by Glitchtrap? The BB World minigame in the secret daycare room. I believe that while playing the arcade machines, Gregory found the BB World one in the daycare theater, and while playing it, got a little too curious and wound up getting possessed by Glitchtrap, just like Vanessa. As we see in the BB World duffel bag message, customers were complaining about the exact glitch Gregory fell for, but since Gregory is a pro, he actually was able to follow the purple path and fall under Glitchtrap's control. Once this happens, Vanny moves the arcade cabinet to the secret daycare room, as we see in the message. And to put the cherry on top of this theory, the BB World game is actually labeled as something else in the game files. It's labeled as Scott Into Madness. The Into Madness era of FNAF is far from over, and so is the story, because with the information we know now, I think we can accurately predict what's going to happen in the Ruin DLC. One of the endings you can unlock in Security Breach involves beating all 3 Princess Quest arcade machines. If you do this, then Vanessa is now free from Glitchtrap's control. This lines up since we see the same door Vanessa was locked behind at the end of FNAF VR, and the Princess Quest game literally showed up in the mobile version of Help Wanted. Princess Quest, in more ways than one, is connected to Vanessa and FNAF Help Wanted. So what about Gregory? Well, now we know that Gregory fell under the control of Glitchtrap through the BB World arcade machine. And in the DLC poster, we see Gregory or Gregory's consciousness trapped, with him communicating digitally through the screens, saying, "Help me." So that must mean that in the DLC, this little girl, who's probably an Elizabeth bot, but we won't go there today, will have to beat the BB World minigame, or at least a version of it, to free Gregory. I wouldn't be surprised if they introduced a BB World 2 and 3, just like Princess Quest. I actually believe that the reason we see a BB World machine in the Afton ending is because there was a cut ending to Security Breach where you could free Gregory from Glitchtrap's control, but Steel Wool Studios left out any hint that Gregory could be in the same boat as Vanessa for some reason. This theory also perfectly aligns with this dialogue from the first gameplay trailer.
And if you fail me, then you will. Both of you burn!
Both of you is referring to Vanessa and Gregory, who are both under Glitchtrap's control. So how does this theory connect to the new merch designs? Well, look at them. They are literally called the Balloon Circus characters.
Yes.
I believe in the DLC, we'll see these characters in BB World 2 and 3, or at least a version of that game, so we can free Gregory, just like Princess Quest freed Vanessa. Also, if you're a believer that Gregory is occupying the sticky note room, or maybe even a version of Charlie 2, the sticky notes start to make more sense. Gregory loves playing the arcade cabinets, and we see PC, fun and games, all the games, play all day, not to mention the repeated drawing of balloons. Anyways, I have never been more confident about a theory in my life, but at the same time, I'm kind of disappointed. I think at this point, it's become clear that the books are required reading to figure out the modern FNAF lore. There is no way that you could have figured out that Gregory is Patient 46 or any of the stuff that happened to Gregory with just playing the game. And in my opinion, that just makes
really
FNAF
wants you
less
to read the
accessible
books.
and more confusing. Because throwing out such blatant one-to-one lore reveals in a book series that also talks about Phazgoo is a little confusing and inconsistent. Nevertheless, GGY is a good story with a good twist at the end that I didn't spoil, so go read it. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
I did enjoy that. That was actually really interesting. I didn't even put together about the FNAF Into Madness. I thought that was just a game that's being made, but I think it's being created as we speak, and it's all in forms of different games. Like he said, you know, FNAF VR, like it was really a madness game. Like it was driving the creator or player into madness, especially with that last, you know, rendition in nightmare mode or whatever, when you flip the switch and then you go into this like realm where you basically go through different doors and stuff. It's like literally driving the player into madness. And then the fact that the file for the BB World game in Security Breach is actually called Scott's Into Madness. That is nuts, man. That's really cool find. Dude, that's actually so cool. So that was really interesting. That was my reaction to FNAF's most recent theory video titled The Lost FNAF Game That Solves Security Breach. I guess it's not lost. Not yet, at least. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and if you agree that this is actually a pretty interesting theory. I know a lot of you are going to be upset, but whatever. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments. And everything will be linked in the description down below so you can check everything out for yourself, along with FNAF's channel for creating this awesome theory. Man, I would just love a FNAF Into Madness, like a back in the day point and click stand still style FNAF game would be great. As much as I love Security Breach and I love being able to, you know, walk around and have all these, you know, next gen graphics, it just kind of takes the actual lore out of it. I don't know why. There's just something nostalgic about the point and click and all of that stuff. I would love to see more of that. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait for like FNAF Plus or FNAF 57. So like it if you enjoyed, subscribe for some more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. So bye.